How are you? How's everybody? Okay, so first, thank you very much. Thank you, Aver. Thank you, Teaching Psychology, for always inviting me in your activities. Thank you, USC, and all those schools that I have um, taught, no? Because I've siguro, di ba, more than 18 years na akong nagtuturo eh. So, um, um, yeah, for the experience, and of course thank you for my students then in the past. So some of you might be students, my students before also here, no? I would not be able to um, put this all together without your feedback, and without your patience in my trial and error in teaching. um, and then for those who are listening right now and watching, these are just tips, sharing what works for me. So I hope you'll learn. Also, I am sure, sila Junix, sila Monique, they have their own beautiful strategies also. When I listen to them in workshops, no, parang it also gives me ideas. Okay? So thank you. And hope you enjoy the workshop, or no, the webinar. Okay, but first, we psychologists, we love asking questions. So what is the state of your heart now? Diba? From zero, no, from the left side to the right side. Now, you will not be answering through the chat box, nope. But instead, you're going to show it, okay, by putting on your cameras. So, you're going to show the face. Pwede bang mag-show sila ng camera or hindi? No? So, if you, hindi pwede, Junix, di ako sure.
No po,
I know.
naka-webinar
Okay,
format.
naka-webinar format tayo. Okay, sige. But when I work with my students, that's what I do. No? Parang quickly, in a in 5 seconds, you're going to quickly show your feelings at that moment. What is the state of your heart now? No, and then sometimes I do the chat inbox um, to also know the temperature of my students. So maybe I can see some of your answers na lang in the inbox. No, you can write what are the words. What is the state of your heart now? So Yeza is flourishing, Bianca is masayahin, Andreas gumiginhawa pa din. No? Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Dayan and Roan. Wow, that's very quick. So these are one of my strategies online and even offline. So offline, or when I do face to face, I ask them to raise their hands, or through a dyad, they will portray, or through a small group, they will portray the kind of face that they are feeling at that very moment. Okay. So another temperature check for me is this one. I know it's been 2 years already since we've been teaching. How was your experience of teaching during the pandemic? So you can use actually the Zoom emoticon. So maybe you can put that in the chat box already. Using Zoom emoticons, how are you feeling? Okay, so Sheena, you can have more than one emoticon, because that's a beauty of emotions, diba? It can happen. You can have multiple emotions with one event. Thank you very much. Ang quick ng flow, ang active ng grupo. Yay! Nice. Thank you for your answers. So just continue on putting your answers here in the chat box. Of course, questions will be put in the Q&A chat box para hindi siya mawala sa feed. Now, moving forward, we all know that psychology now really focuses on the prevention of illnesses and the promotion of well-being or development of all people. And that includes us teachers, the staff, and of course, our students. right? So there was really a movement from before the focus of psychology was treating mental illness. Now it also moves to what makes us happy, what makes us resilient, and what makes us flourish. And when we talk about school well-being, um, it is not enough to only to provide student welfare, uh, but and it's not also enough to be at zero. We have to be more. Okay, so more than zero, so plus 5 pa nga eh. We must focus on getting from the zero to the 5, to the state of flourishing. Okay. So we must do better as teachers, as administrators, as staff members. No? I was also a part of the Office of the Student Affairs, and I created programs for well-being. So maganda din yun kasi at least for 3 years, I was able to do activities naman that is school-wide. Okay. So the idea and the concept here is that um, positive psychology can also be used in the education. No? And what is positive education? In short, it is skills of achievement plus skills of well-being. Okay? So it's not enough only to focus your topics on the content, on the subject matter. I know we teach our students about the academic goals with competence and confidence, right? So, but that's not enough. We also need to teach our students the soft skills because it's more important also, the life skills. And as I remember, siguro ang mga life skills were only taught to us during grade school. Uh, Lucky for us because we're psychology, our topics are very life skills are very embedded in our syllabus, no? Or in our curriculum. Um, However, when we look at the curriculum also, topics on emotions are not hindi siya pang one semester, no, na course. No? We have cognitive psychology and that we teach it for one semester, but emotions are not taught, at least not in our university. And I think emotions are very important because it actually hijacks our thinking and our cognitions. And yun, so that's why it's very also important to teach the the soft skills. Okay, and um, my bias as a framework is always been Martin Seligman's PERMA-V. Uh, I think some of you have attended my previous talks about the PERMA-V. So this is just a quick review. So what is PERMA-V? P is for positivity. That is experiencing and being responsive to positive thinking and feelings and adaptive behavior. Okay? So, E naman is engagement. It is igniting one's character strength and then integrating it so that we can experience flow. Diba? Flow is the state where we enjoyed a task so much that time stopped for us. Okay? Or, of course, what is well-being all about? It's all about other people. And R is the presence of positive and meaningful relationships and being able to connect with other people. The key word here is positive and meaningful. We might meaningful meaning it's not the quantity but the quality of our relationship. And number two, it must be positive, meaning it is not abusive and hostile. No, not all relationships will lead to flourishing also, or will lead us to flourishing. Okay? M is meaning it's engaging in purposeful, relevant, and challenging activities. Sometimes these activities goes beyond ourselves, and we call it self-transcendence. When we contribute our strength to the community. Now, remember, when we talk about the definition of how I define mental health, it is the emotional, psychological, and relational state. And one aspect of relational state is not only about about romantic friendships, colleagues, but it's also about contributing to the society. So active citizenship is very important also. A, it's for achievement. It's really setting goals, achieving them, and having that sense of mastery. No? So that is very important to live a flourishing life. And of course, last, vitality. It's really to be physically and psychologically alive, to ensure that sense of safety, both physical and emotional. And of course, self-care. So this is what we mean by PERMA-V. And I think in PAP, the video is still there, living the PERMA-V way. I think you can download it, or you can watch it if you haven't. If this is the first time that you've seen me talk about PERMA-V. Okay. So I use PERMA-V as a framework. So there are three things here that I will be discussing. Number one, using PERMA-V as a framework for positive classroom environment. And then number two, I'll start on sharing what is my normal flow in class when I teach, and how I use PERMA-V or positive psychology. And number three, I will share my some of the activities, my favorite activities, that I do in class, and share also some tips. Show you some videos and pictures that this is what I did in statistics. These are the activities that I did in cognitive psychology. So in fact, positive psychology is not it's not part of our curriculum. Diba? Usually it's only a topic under one subject, or it can be a special topics. But here in the University of San Carlos, because I'm part in curriculum development, positive psychology, every psychology major will take up positive psychology on their first year or second year. I think that's the second after introduction to psych, they will get positive psychology. So we put it in one of the very beginning, so that they will have the skills to survive or to flourish in their 4 years of college. And then, because I'm part of curriculum also development, it is happiness and well-being is one of the general education courses. So even non-psych major can choose this subject. No? So yeah, I'm going to share more about it. So okay, so using PERMA-V as a framework for positive classroom development. Okay, so the first one is positivity. So positivity is students need the time they spend in school to be interesting, fun, and rewarding, right? So that's one of our goals. No? For example, a statistics research assignment might require students to survey their peers and find out, their current interests. So, for example, what kind of music do they listen to? What kind of video games do they play? So, pwede natin gamitin yan as activities. The old saying is that we learn best by doing. And that is true for many learners. Consider how you get students involved in all their senses, like seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, in discussing or acting out a concept. For example, in a psychology class, complex concepts like the effects of personal discomfort, that can be done in experimental psychology, or we can even role play it, having pairs of students stand at varying distances from each other while having a discussion. Learners, okay? So here, the first tip here is really adapt tasks to students' interest and language. That talks about getting to know our students' interest at right now. Talagang ibang-iba na talaga sila, compared to my interest before. Number two is to provide creative ways for students to get actively involved in class. Okay. And third, be flexible. Okay? What does that mean? Be flexible and allow variation in your learning approach to accommodate learning process differences in the students. By the way, my presentation in PDF format, it will be shared to you. My last slide, there is a link there where you can download this one. Pero okay din if mag-screenshot kayo now. Whatever works for you. Okay, so the third one, be flexible and allow variation. No? We know naman that learners best create and demonstrate their understanding when they are able to use their preferred learning style, di ba? The students' understanding may maximize when their teachers allows them the choice in acquiring, expressing understanding. So it could be creatively done. If they're good at making videos, then they do it. If they're good at writing, then they can write. If they are good, in drawing, then maybe they can express in drawing. Some students may want to graphically illustrate a concept, while others might prefer to express concept in role playing or in acting or in a written report. Okay, so that's the whole idea ba na parang how can we make our classes fun, interesting and rewarding. Okay. So next, engagement. Okay. Many students really desire a sense of personal responsibility, autonomy, independence. So, and we can activate this by igniting their character strength and let them have choices, shared ownership and involvement in determining classroom direction related to positive classroom environment. So, the teacher must respect, and encourage and support student roles as co-creators of the classroom learning experiences. So my tip here is really to, number one, offer choices. Diba? Similar to what I discussed earlier, give them a choice on how they can express their learning or their understanding. No? In most areas like content, instructional processes, and evaluation, and even in discipline, giving students choices can have a major impact on their commitment to invest energy into the learning activities. Allowing students choices in the way they can demonstrate their understanding has the potential to greatly reduce students' anxiety and obsession about grades. What else? Seek and respond feedback from students. Ask students what they like and don't like. Ask what you can do to help them be more successful. Ask them what they specifically want to learn about some topic taught in your class. Ask them what classroom activities would make learning more meaningful and fun. And then once you receive the answers to your questions, talk to the students about this one. So this can be done in Introduction to Psychology. Diba? There are more than 15 topics to be covered in the book. Although diba, there are topics like Intro to Psych, Biopsych, research in psychology, those are non-negotiable. But we can ask them what are the topics that they will be interested out of the 15, because in my experience, in a semester I can only teach 7 to 8 topics in Intro to Psychology. So we can ask them and yeah. And then last, use student-led activities in class and always make sure to ignite their strength or to activate their strength. So vary instructional methods. Some of it might be lectures, some cooperative learning groups. Diba? Sometimes we do enjoy having students do the reporting, and sometimes I hate it because when I did the reporting when I was a younger teacher, sometimes I felt that it was a waste of time. But however, I also learned as I grew older that students need to be supervised. They need to be met. Now, okay, this is what I expect about when you do the discussion, when you lead the discussion in class. I also share to them the outline. That there must be a warm up, there must be a activity, and then there must be processing. So I teach them that, and I will make sure that it will ignite their character strength. So they can use it through games, or through videos or role playing, no? Or structured learning experiences. So very instructional methods talaga for them to learn. Always encourage to bank on their strength. No? I've noticed that you're very good at drawing. Uh, Maybe you can make a comic strip for this one for our discussion. Okay, so that's engagement. Number 3, relationships. You know, we know that teachers sharing care, acceptance, and respect are predictors of student attendance and engagement in school. But how can we demonstrate being caring in class? So show students that you care about them as individuals, as individuals independent of their academic tasks. So um, connect, no? Know how to personally connect with their student, like maybe a friendly hello at the door, no? Or a brief one-on-one conversation about things that's happening in your student's life. No? I most because I have I do create my groups in Facebook groups, and sometimes my students are in Facebook and sometimes in Twitter, and then we follow each other. You know, those information that I get from their post, you know, I jokingly talk about it with them, no, or ask them how you are. No, sometimes if nakita ko na may mga heartbroken posts, di ba? Parang I'd ask them how they are. So brief one-on-one conversation, a brief written note of encouragement, might be helpful for them. So what else? Cooperative learning. So use cooperative learning activities to foster socialization, networking, and connection among students and their peers. No? Cooperative learning has been documented to contribute to student social development and their quality of peer relationship. So ang group talaga, if if coached and supervised really well, it has good impact on the students. So so in their interaction with their peers, students directly learn the attitudes, right there and then, attitude, value, skills, that is needed for adult life. Okay. Third, set a few minutes a week for students to discuss personal and academic issues, whether at the very start of the meeting or at the end of the end of the week. No? So start the week with check-ins and discussion of wins, no, for both personal and academic, like insights about class discussions are example. O pwede pa siyang pang summary, like, what are your insights for the entire week? So, and how can you use it personally? So pwedeng dyad, or pwedeng groups also. And last, use non-traditional learning activities like role playing, okay, peer teaching, autobiographical exchanges among students, field trips, so that they will also see you in a different light. So if there are activities, you also join them. I remember I did a trust fall or activity before. I had also to do it. So that's my golden retriever. Just say hi there. He's saying hi to you guys. So no? So be part of the activity. Food. Nako, I've been known that food at the end of the semester, kahit konti lang, no, may salo-salo kami. Lalo na ngayon, 'di ba, yung first semester ends on December. So planuhin ang Christmas party, no? So that is part of it also, no? Kapag Valentine's Day, I give out candies also. Small candies lang talaga, stoking yung mga candy hearts, no, for my students. Meaning, have purpose. Learning is more relevant when one can see how knowledge or skill is related to the real world. So find ways to connect the curriculum with the world outside of the classroom. So use current events and issues to discuss important concepts in psychology. Experimental psychology and research might benefit with this topic. But even in intro to psych, when we teach research in psychology, that one, we with that one topic, now we can we can ask them to do research, or it's social psychology. This would be really fun. But create personalized and meaningful content and activities to the learners. This means that an activity engages the emotion, the personality, no, of the learner. So let students talk about how concepts are related to their life. So personality, this is easy for personality. For abnormal psychology, that can also be easy, talking about some of the symptoms. Encourage students to state their honest views and ideas, okay, and how it's related to their day-to-day living. Third, connect concepts with social and community relevance, of course. So social psychology will be having a feast here. This will be easy, but a lot of psychology topics are very relevant to the learners. Relevant topics now, mental health, um, and we're very lucky that our discipline is very easy to find meaning. Okay, achievement. It has been shown that students who do not believe that they can do the work, even if they can, are likely to fail and eventually stop trying to master the material. Thus, even though a task may be interesting and fun, there is no guarantee that students will meaningfully engage in the task if they will fail. Which means that a teacher must not only work to make it interesting, he or she must consider ways to help students feel confident about succeeding. So my first tip here is teach students to set and strive for their academic and learning goals. You can ask them about their goals of learning at the end of the semester, during expectation setting. You can modify it along the way. And when you ask their, like imagine, their possible self, the end of the semester, what grade do they want? An A or a 1.0? But they will also list what skills they need to learn and what grade they want, how they are going to achieve it. And then more so, you involve students in self-evaluation. Okay? Check and monitor students' understanding through quick and accurate, detailed, constructive, encouraging feedback. So again, feedback is very important. And when you say your feedback, you use skills like, areas of strength and areas of improvement. Yes, Jelly. No, I know that sometimes that boundary of personal and professional. Some other teachers, they use a different Facebook account. So if you have a different Facebook account, show some fun side in you. Ako kasi one of my values is authenticity. So if you're my Facebook friend and you know how authentic I am, and I've been called out for that, but for me, one of my values is authenticity, and I've inspired a lot of people because of being authentic, especially people who identifies themselves to be LGBTQIA. So that is my strength. Kaya parang for me, it works for me. So I hope that answers also, Jelly. And then last, focus on the process of learning rather than on the product of learning. So focus the goal of education, the process of learning, like individual effort, and then understanding achievement levels, who's the highest, who's the lowest. Example of this is giving more students also more time, or one more chance, or a lot of chances to improve their mastery. So it can be that this is the first grade, the second grade, and the third grade, and the final grade. It can also be like that. Okay. Last, vitality. It is essential condition for a positive classroom environment is for the student to feel physically and emotionally safe enough to take risks for learning. Okay, so this means that we need to be sensitive and aware of the lives of students outside school. Such personal knowledge creates an important bond between the teacher and then the student. So we create a warm personal context where students are well known and accepted. For me, current issues now that we can incorporate pronouns, No? Um, when I put dati index card, but ngayon naka Google form na lang tayo, no, when they put in information, and I asked there, what are the pronouns that you want to be, what names, even names, oh, what names do you want to be called in class? And you can use that kind of name even if the person is not does not identify to be LGBTQI, no, because there might be names that are traumatic for them. So that they have control for that one, and their pronouns, they have control. And I've received emails saying that, "Oh, sir, I really feel safe in your class. I really appreciate that you ask for pronouns, that you allow us to use our live names." So that would be great. Now, uh, and then of course, create an operating structure and rules and expectation that is predictable and fair. Students need to understand your academic and social expectations and the learning processes and procedures in your class. They also need to know the consequences of your behavior. I would say to them, hey, you're allowed 8 cuts, but please don't get more than 8 cuts or 8 absences or 8 hours of absences. No, um, but if you want to be absent 8 hours or less, that's okay with me. That is your choice. But anong consequences niyan if you will be absent and all? So we also discussed that. It must be explicit. Okay, all these consequences, expectations must be explicit, and then sometimes I allow them to add more rules, and you'll be surprised that sometimes when they create the rules, it's very um it's so difficult to follow, or unrealistic even. And then last, for vitality, I include grounding, mindfulness, or movement activities before class or in between sessions, lalo na kapag longer. So, of course, I learned that now that it's more important na online tayo. So, um, those are my tips. No? So first, um, just some reflective questions. What specifically could you add to make your curriculum more interesting, fun, and rewarding? What is one thing that you can do to increase active engagement and involvement among your students? What is one thing you could ensure to make students feel more valued, reconnected, and connected with each other, respected and connected with each other? What can you start to have? What can you start to have purposeful, relevant, and challenging activities and schoolwork for your students? Okay. What specifically could you execute to ignite students' strength and make them feel more confident about their succeeding in your class? And last, what specific actions could you take on to make learning environment more warm, supportive, and safe? So, yeah, and so how do you set boundaries from your students? It really depends. Now, it really depends. I will just say to them that, there might be times that I might not be able to answer you quickly, because, I also have my own life. But know that it is not about you. Uh, at the beginning of the semester, when they're still my students, I hide them, or I don't accept them yet. But in our Facebook groups, that's where I talk more about certain topics and issues. I put it in our Facebook group. So I also share aspects of me. Even in our Facebook groups, we can share about wins. No? What are your wins for today? So pwede din doon. Padlets are also good now. Padlets are also good now. How do you respond to students who suggest unrealistic rules? I share it to them. Now, oh, do you think this is realistic or not? No? Yung being totally quiet, yung walang mag-uusap sa side, which I missed right now. So, I just talk to them, negotiate with them. Okay, so these are my flow. This is my flow really. In every session, gumagawa ko ng, actually in my PowerPoint, ganun talagang isip ko that, you know, I set up, no, and then when yung gathering, when they get into class or when I start the class, I usually have a music to call. So I Live is my favorite music by One Republic. Why? Because really the lyrics there is very meaningful. I did it all. I own every second that this world would give. I saw many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I live. So that has been, and when, you know, people would say na, my students would say na they've never, after daw my class, they will, every time they hear that song, they will always remember with my class with positivity and delight and joy. So yun. And then I do a warm up, and sometimes that could be grounding exercise, mindfulness exercise to put on the focus. And then pwede din check in, they can share quickly with the dyad. And then I put on the activity. And then I process and share it. You know, so parang very structured learning experiences. And then a short input about. And then meron ding homework, and then we do the check out. So we need to be creative, I guess, not to make it more fun and rewarding. And those are the things that I enjoy. Tsaka madaya ako minsan, di ba, ina-activity ko lang para hindi siya, no, I teach 8 subjects, no? So that would mean 8 times 3. So 24 hours a week, diba? So I also need to manage my voice, my energy. Sometimes back to back pa yung mga classes natin, alam natin yan. So, you know, putting on activities sometimes will really also help us to manage our energy during the class. So after the activity naman, meron ako mga reflective questions. And I think, you know, when you are a coach or you love structured learning experiences, you say, what, now what, so what? So this is my magic questions, no? Every time after what really happened? Can you share what happened? What went wrong? But more importantly, what went right? And then highlight the right things. No? And then now what? No? Why does this matter? No? What does it teach me? What does it let me, no? Or what does it tell me about myself, about other people, about the future, about the world? No? So that's what it means. Now what? And then last, you know, application. So what? Because now you learn about this concept. What do I need to make it better to resolve a situation? How can I apply this concept to my real life? So what can I improve on, or what can I continue? What do I stop? What do I start? So that, maganda din yon, yung stop, start, continue. Isa din yan sa mga reflective wrap-up questions ko. Okay. So yan, some of my favorite positive psychology activities, a lot of games and energizers. I remember in cognitive psychology, when we did to have the problem solving, I need memory, short-term memory, long-term memory, and topic on long-term memory. We had to do the landmines activity where they have to memorize which box they need to which box they need to step forward, or else they will blow up and die. No? So those kinds of activities. So yeah, a lot of games and energizers. I use a lot of strength because really one of the key pillars in positive psychology is the use of character strength. So strength assessment and putting it in action plan. I do strength at the very beginning so that when they do their projects, you know, they can activate their character strength. No? Or kung knowing their strength, and then in groups, I would say, okay, can you think of something that at least one of your character strengths in the group will, one of your character strengths will be activated. Hindi automatic kung hindi automatic ang leader. Sometimes I will look at, no, parang, okay, in this group, no, they've decided to be a group. I will look at the leadership strengths naman. So then I would do that. No? A lot of affirmations and gratitude, activities like paper on the back, usually at the end of the semester, papers on the back, and can you write good things about this classmate? Strength introduction, that also works at the very beginning of the semester. Dyad, and then maybe small groups, kayo bahala. Then they introduce about a struggle that they've been in their life, and then how did they solve it and resolve it. And then feedback mechanism is that they're going to spot the strength of their partners or their group mates. Highlight the strength at that time. So projects like, do a kind act, possible self, a lot of grounding and mindfulness activities. Sharing wins can also be done. So some examples I did in class. In statistics, one of the ito yung mga bago pa lang, introduction of statistics. They're going to search online for statistics that made them weep and leap for joy. Yan, no? So that is personal to them, no? So magpapakita sila ng mga statistics and they put it on paper and then lagay sa likod, and then students are going to move around and read ano yung mga tapos may mga react, sad face ba, magre-react sila sa kind of the statistics that the student choose, no? So yung ganon ang and then of course they can also share after these small activities. They can also share na, sige, big group tayo, maybe 2 people can share kung ano yung mga statistics that made them weep and leap for joy, no? I know statistics worksheets are not fun, but inaano ko lang sila, no? Sinasay ko lang sila. I call my worksheets fun sheets. Fun sheets, yay! Fun sheets for this week, fun sheets, yay! But my students also learn to call it fun shits. So minsan it's a fun sheet, and a lot of times it's fun shit daw. But look at this one, diba? May mga choice din sila, may autonomy sila whether they want to do it in groups or they want to do it individually. If in groups, may choice din sila na submit one paper lang. And why do I need to do this? Because sometimes, diba, ang dami naman kasing papers na i-check, diba? So parang choose if you want it group or individually. Then I will use students' names. No, parang, diba, sometimes in exams, no, that semester I will change the names that will use my students' names. So, diba, nung student din ako, parang, okay. Lumabas ako sa example ni Niel, ganyan. So, or ng teacher ko. So, I use that frequently. Okay, in cognitive psychology, these are some of the activities that I do, like in automatic memorization or procedural learning. So this is the one, the COC. So diba? Today's cog psych lesson, controlled process to automatic process. So I asked them to bring cups, or no, I brought cups, and then you have to practice that kokoto, yung kokoto na experiment. So, and then talk about proceduralization, automation. So, and then, of course, yung panahon na yon, 2018, Tala was up. So that's the second challenge. Tala. Tapos may quiz talaga to, meaning the next session dapat ma-memorize din nila. So but for me it's pass or not pass lang na ako. And what was my quiz for that cups is the, anong tawag dito? This song. And they enjoy this so much. So, di ba, different way to assess your class o the learning, procedure learning. No? Ito yun naman yung affirmations toward the end. And, I also join them. So, some teachers, will have, will also receive affirmations towards the end of the session. Of course, my one important resource that I like is Authentic Happiness. Maraming mga, if you want to know the skills, the strength, the VIA character strength. Okay. So go to AuthenticHappiness.com. There's a lot of skills that you can use there. That's very important. Okay. In personality, life stories and life, lifeline. That's very fun for them. Lifeline. So you do that. And then in cognitive psychology, ako ayaw niyo ng lifeline kasi masyadong mahaba. You can do a 6-word memoir to describe their life, and you will be amazed on how students are very creative and vulnerable also with that. So in cognitive in terms of 6-word memoir, I know. So later I'll show that. And of course, pictures, no? It's fun. It's fun to so meron akong end of the SEM pictures, or in Zoom, we take pictures also, using some filters. It's also really fun. Okay, so here naman I'm going to show to you a video that I did a few years back now. 6-word memoir, but this is in cognitive psych. In cognitive psychology class, we are discussing about stories and autobiographical memories. So here are the life stories of my students in 6 words. I remember this class really well because it was a summer class. So, alam mo yun, I get to meet them every day. So, we're more closer and I really lost my voice. Kaya sabi ko, my sixth word there, diba? Lost voice but teaching you happiness. No? So, a lot of them are I'm still in contact with them, my Facebook friends, no. You'll be surprised how your students will pay you back in the future. When I went to the US and I just posted that, hey, I'm in LA, students will just, sir, you're here, come on, let's take you out, and they will really pick you up and drive you. So oh god, yun experience, memorable experiences with students. So my question, three more slides. My questions for you is, what is your 6-word takeaway for this session? So maybe you can put it all in the inbox. What is your 6-word takeaway? Oh, Soledad, thank you for that. Teaching us how to be creative. Thank you. Carl, make it count, make it meaningful. I love it. Giancarlo, I will stay authentic in class. Love it, love it. Come on. What is my 6-word takeaway for this session? Positive, meaningful, and be the authentic you. Parang tama 6-word pa ba yun? Teaching us to teach with heart. I learned a lot, sir. Thanks. 6 words. Teach to love, teach to give. Um, yan, beautiful, beautiful 6 words. Just continue it. I like this TEDx talks ni Benjamin Sanders, and I also showed this one at the very beginning of class. How to give an A. There's a session in the beginning where I talk about, imagine themselves that they're getting an A, how they're going to get it, and this is the topic now. And I like how Benjamin Sanders said that my job as a teacher is to awaken possibility in other people. If their eyes are shining in your class and you're doing it, if they're not shining, you get to ask this question: who am I being that my children's eyes or my students' eyes are not shining? So that is my goal. To make them really interested in learning psychology, and then it's up to them to read more, even if it's statistics, no? To make it interesting. Uh, marami na akong mga junior students ko before who are teaching statistics and psychology now. I'm very happy pa na hindi sila na traumatize, no, with teaching psychology, no, and understanding psychology. So my psychology teacher, my statistics teacher was Dr. Mira of Reneo, and it was very easy, it was very calm. No? Hindi ako takot sa subject. No? And when hindi ka takot, di ba? If there's no fear, you get to learn more compared to their fear. No? Although sometimes fear naman and instilling fear and anxiety is also good, no? But not too much. No? And then we can't also have our activities all the time fun. So there's also that processing component. So be moderate. No? So thank you for your 6 words. Thank you very much. That is the link. You can download my presentation in the PDF file, http tinyurl.com/teaching PP strategies. And also, after 6 words, if you're going to tweet something about this, what is your tweet or what is your hashtag? And then you may contact me at nsmkintanar@tsc.edu.ph. Thank you for all your comments and participation. Thank you very much.